Okay, let's try this. It's going to be a very basic class today. This is, I do know that there are many people out there that haven't done yoga at all, and they are wondering, there are all these offers online. Can I do something? Can I follow something without knowing the basic poses? So today is more about that. It's more about getting into basics. I am an Anusara yoga teacher, so of course I do follow principles of alignments, which I do believe and I do know on my own experience that they are very helpful in order to find the right place from where to move more freely. We can learn about those principles in next videos, but today I'm going to do a very simple, basic sun salutation. We are going to cut it, explain in a few things, and we will just see how it goes, okay? In each yoga class, we start sitting. At least on my classes, we always start sitting. How do we sit? This is already the very first important thing, right? Notice that sometimes we sit like this. How is that back? Do you feel any opening on the chest to be able actually to breathe? Not really, right? So if this is very, common, which it is, and if this is the way you sit, I really do suggest that you elevate your hips using a blanket. You can sit on a pillow, you can sit on a towel, whatever you have at home. And just place this towel, pillow, whatever, underneath your hips, right? From here, you can elevate the, how do you call this in English? We said popo in German, gluteus. You can elevate the gluteus. I say popo. I do not know where I learned the popo, but okay. And allow your hips, right, to go from this version into the pubic bone, going more down towards the floor. And then you just find in here a little bit of room, right, to move between the pubic bone and the sitting bones. And you notice in here that there is, right, the sitting bones are those tiny bones underneath the gluteus, right in here, right? So allow yourself to find the center in between that, kind of like the middle in between the pubic bone, that's when you're going too much forward, or the sitting bones when you're going too much back. So allow this part of the body, the side of the body, to get nice and long. And notice the happiness in the back, right? And notice the expansion on the chest. So you give yourself the possibility to breathe more. Now the legs, if they're over here, okay, maybe you can place the feet down there, make it more comfortable. If you have blocks or more towels, you can always place them underneath your knees, especially if you have knee issues like I do, but because of yoga, my knees are, and physiotherapy, my knees are back to as I like them, so I can sit like this. But we're not going to stay here for a while. I know that this is already hard. So the important thing is the back. Your knees, okay, secondary, but when the back is in pain, uy. So allow this to lengthen up, recreating the natural curve on your back, the, lordosis. And from here, you can, I'm going to show back to the center, to the front. From here, you can allow your hips to ground you down, like they are pressing down, to allow the legs to stay more strong. And you can bring your hands underneath the armpits and lift the armpits up. You even bring the shoulders higher, right? And then you feel the space in the torso. So you create a bigger cavity for the breath to expand. And then bring the shoulders slightly back and just allow the shoulders to relax down. And you place your hands and you see you stay super nice and open. Already doing the first principle of Anusara, which is called open to grace. If we do not open to life, we tend to suffer. So you place your hands into your knees or thighs, keeping the torso nice and open, and just gently close your eyes. This is an invitation in here to reconnect with your own breath, to let the world keep spinning, to let life keeps flowing, And we allow ourselves to just draw inwards. Right now, outside is a little bit hectic, right? It's a little bit crazy. There's so much fear, there's so much anxiety going around, there is so much stress if you have been in the supermarkets lately. So when we close our eyes and we give ourselves the permission to connect with the breath, notice that. Notice that permission to draw back inwards, to forget what's going outside and just notice the nice, calm breath that we can take. So inhale through the nose, lifting the whole torso, allowing the whole upper body to expand, and with the exhale, just allow the breath to come out through the nose. Nothing more complicated than this, just noticing the breath. Inhale, and exhale nice and long. Once again, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Gently bring your hands in on top of your heart to feel the breath moving the chest and to feel the pulsation of the breath, the vibration of your heart, and notice the connection between that pulsation, between that vibration, and the pulsation and vibration of life. Realizing that we are here to learn how to flow with life, how to stay open no matter what's going on outside, how to stay connected with our heart, with our pulsation, no matter with what's going on in the outer world. That we cannot control. Outside is just happening. This virus is here. We just have to follow the measurements and the recommendations from our governments. So that we cannot change. But what we can change is how we react to what's going on. And I invite you today to react with an open mind, with an open heart, thinking, imagining that we are going to be fine. And that's why we're going through this right now. To learn how to connect with our breath, to learn how to stay connected with our dear, with our loved ones, even if we cannot be with them. One more breath, and gently release your hands. Come back to a natural breath, just letting breath happening, and gently open your eyes. Ready to move? Okay, so remove the blanket. If you do have sensitive knees, place the blanket underneath your knees and come into all fours. Separate your fingers and make sure, I'm going to, this went into off screen, not fun. I'm going to show in that direction. The wrist comes directly underneath the shoulders, and notice the elbows, this part of the elbow face forward. Most of the times we do this, right? And like that is very complicated. So if you have shoulder issues, you can separate the fingers, you can separate the hands and do what is accessible to you, keeping this part of the arm more forward. Forget so much about where your hands go, but think about this part forward. This is the inner part of the elbow. So this is in case you have shoulder stuff. If your shoulders are fine, keep the hands forward, pressing the fingers down. And then from here, just keep grounding yourself down. So you press those fingers, you press the hands, you press the knees and the feet down, and you lift the chest up. And you notice this connection with the floor. You notice this connection with the earth. That's the first principle of Anusara, opening to grace, following the flow of life. So you press the hands down, and then here draw the legs towards the center like if you have a bowl between your legs, and from there just allow the center of the chest with the inhale to come up, and then with the exhale roll the back, and you can even bring the center of the back up towards the ceiling. And then again, inhale, chest forward and up, keep the neck natural, following the movement of the spine. Don't overdo the neck. This creates lots of stuff on the neck. Believe me, I have neck issues, so keep the neck relaxed. And then exhale and round the back. Once again, inhale, center of the chest forward and up. This is what we call cow. And then exhale and cat. Two more. Inhale, cow. Popo goes up, glutes go up. And exhale, cat, bringing the belly button back and up. Okay, release back to center. What do I mean with center is to get a neutral pose. So the back, the lower back, if you see here, it's in a little bit of a cat idea, rounding the back, and allow the center of the chest to come up and forward in a little bit of a cow idea. This is more complicated, don't worry if you don't understand. Notice the elbows, if they're hyperextended like I'm doing right now, keep them slightly bending, okay? Now from here, walk one foot back and lift it up. So extend that leg and lift it up. Notice the hips, keep the engagement of the muscles to keep those hips in the same line. And from here, draw belly and extend the opposite arm. So right now I have right foot extended, right knee extended, left arm extended. That's all you need to do. But keep noticing that the hips are not completely lifted. Engage gluteus to extend up. Now if you can keep doing that and you have more of a practice, press the top of the hamstring, right, the back of your thigh up towards the ceiling. That's a really yummy working here. And then exhale, release. And let's do the second side. Extend the left leg, lift it up, press that foot back. You cannot see my foot, but my foot is active. You see there? My foot is active. Draw the belly and lift the right arm forward. Keep the left elbow slightly bending, draw popo, and if you understood what I said before, lift the thigh up. Not the hip, the thigh. Okay? My screen is going to go off again, so we will just see how this goes. Exhale, release. If you want, we can, let's do it once more. Draw gluteus in, extend right leg, left arm. Round, through the right hand down, through the left foot down. Strong foundation to lengthen up, to open up. Release down, and second side. Engage popo, engage the belly, open that center of the chest, and let's do left leg and right arm. Breathe in here, probably you're already getting warm, that's normal. Exhale, release, and first side again, draw belly, up we go. Keep pressing back. So from the center of the pelvic floor, imagine that you're extending outwards. From the hand, you are reaching forward, and from the back foot, you're reaching back. Exhale, release, and second side. Drawing towards the center to extend completely outwards. That's what we call in Anusara muscular energy, hugging your muscles into the bones, and organic energy expanding from the center of your being outwards. Exhale, release. Okay, now let's do the first downward facing dog. So, how do we do this? Bring the knees slightly back, probably you're not going to see. So I'm going to Think that I'm bringing the knees slightly back. Press the hands down and bend the elbows sideways. From here, draw the elbows towards your legs. Why? Because again, I want the crease of the elbow to face forward, right? Like what we were doing before. Engage that belly, so draw the belly button back, engage the popo. Press the toes down, bring the knees up, keep the knees bending and bring the hips back. Why I'm doing this? Because I want the back to be nice and long. Most of us, when we go into downward facing dog for the first time, we get, I hope I'm doing it, a very rounded back. Because the hamstrings are still not stretched enough to allow us to get into this nice extension. Do you see this? This is a curl back, which is not happy for my lower back, especially for mine. So I bend the knees to press the tops of the thighs back and to actually press the sitting bones, those bones, up away from my hands. So I recreate a neutral back, and from there maybe you can extend the legs. But again, if when you're extending your legs you're rounding, it's much more better to bend the knees and press the thighs back, the sitting bones up. Okay? And bring the knees down. How was that? So, I'm getting warm already. I'm going to try to remove this thing without removing the earphones. Okay, so let's try again a dog. Whatever. Press the hands down, bend the elbows, and why am I doing that? Okay. Pause and look at this. Place the hands down. I'm going to keep the blanket in here. And bend the elbows sideways. Do you see the space between the ears and the shoulders? Keep that space. So draw the elbows down, creases of the elbows face forward, press those hands down, and keep this space between the shoulders and the ears to bring the hips up and extend the back. Do you see what I'm doing in here? This is what we call external rotation in the arms. Not only yogis, but also physiotherapists. You know, this is a biomechanic principle. And why is this so important? Because most of us, when we do a first dog, we create this. Do you see what I'm doing? My arms are glued to my ears. And believe me, I have shoulders and neck issues. That's really painful. So, we press the hands down, bend the elbows sideways, elbows towards the legs. Keep this external rotation in this arm, so this bone keeps engaged through the muscles in their place. Okay? Keeping that, engage belly, hips back, and lift the hips up. And you see that we just create a space. That's all we are looking in here. We want to do, create this space. So we create a space between the shoulder, the arm, and the ears for the neck to stay happy. Okay? Knees down. Okay, so with those two things about downward facing dog, you can play a lot. How to recreate the lower back, the curve of the natural back, and the nice and long neck, right? Okay, now let's move on. So, from downward facing dog, where we were, let's try again. Bend the elbows, shoulders, elbows towards the back. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And bring the hips up. Nice and long back. Noticing here, not the rounding. Press the tops of the thighs back to lengthen that back. This you can practice in front of a mirror, right? To observe your back. To lengthen, since I am not there looking at what you're doing, this is your own practice, so press the tops of the thighs back. And from there, in my case, I can extend the legs. You don't need to. Okay? You can keep the knees bending. Now we're going to bring the right foot between the hands. This, I've seen many times, it's very hard to do. So maybe just bring this other leg down and just go towards your foot and bring it all the way up. This requires a lot of muscles that we're not going to talk about in here. Foot in front. Draw the legs in and lengthen the torso. Something that we do like to do is to keep the knee on top of the heel. And this is just basically to create more muscle control. But if your knee is over here, believe me, I think it's other set of muscles working. So what we want to do in here is to work certain muscles, so we keep the knee on top of the heel and draw the legs towards the center. This is something that is a very yummy thing to do. It's like a scissor, right? Like an action of drawing this leg back and this leg forward. And there you really feel the gluteus, right? So this is all you need to do. You keep the back knee down, the foot pressing forward, pressing down, and drawing the legs towards the center. If you don't reach the floor, or if you're like this trying to reach the floor, get a block, a book, a little, stool, how do you call those things? And lift yourself up, again, to get this nice back, especially if you have lower back issues. Or, if you don't have anything at home, place your arms on your thigh. Use your own body to lift yourself up. Okay, now let's do the other side. Bring that foot as you can. Take your time, it's totally okay. Bring it back. And then bring this one forward. So what we do, what the yogis do, is just basically bloom, right? This is sometimes very hard to do. I understand that. So bring that foot maybe until here. Reach towards the foot and make it go in between your hands. Sometimes feet need a little bit of more control. So draw the legs again towards the center. Here, this foot is grounding you down. And from there, again, you can bring those hands into the thighs to just lengthen the torso and open up. Hands down or hands up, depending on your back, depending on your possibilities. And notice what I'm doing in here. Ooh, good that I have a screen. This hip needs to be more back, so then the gluteus get more active. And when we do that, notice this knee. We'll go over there, so keep the knee hanging in. More muscle control. That's all we're working in here. Okay, I'm not going to make you crazy with all different muscles. Back leg goes in front as you can. If you have more mobility, there, perfectly fine. If not, just work your way in here, okay? Notice the back again, super rounded in this area, so keep your knees bending, bring the sitting bones higher. Try to work into this area, into the popo, getting higher than the lower back. And where is the camera? There, okay? Pressing up there. And then, again, I'm a yogi, so for me this is very easy, but I still remember when I started to do yoga, I was over here. Perfectly fine. Keep your hands over here. Also, you can press them on your shin bones, but the important thing is to protect the back. So bend the knees slightly and press the sitting bones up. Oh, this is very intense in this area, right? Or wherever, maybe sometimes you feel it in here. That again depends on you. So keeping this, press those feet down, even the toes down. And notice whether your feet, we go back to foundation, whether your feet are like this. Sometimes that happens. So I invite you to bring the feet parallel as much as you can to each other and separate those toes. I'm not going to get into toes in here, but people who knows me know that I love to work piano. Press the sitting bones up and then lengthen and reach the torso down, right? If you are here, feel lucky, because this is quite impressive to achieve. Bend the elbows and connect the shoulders into the back, again to create that space. And keeping that, you relax the neck. If this is not happening, if you cannot touch the floor, bring the hands into the shin bones and do the same action. Nice long neck. This is what in yoga we call forward bend, and in Sanskrit it's an Uttanasana. It's a very nice pose, Uttanasana. Ugh. Okay, so now, shoulders into the back, bend those knees, bring the hands into the hips. Shoulders back, so you engage the belly. You see what I'm doing? I'm getting my arm away so then you can see the back. If I am like this, bring the shoulders up, press the feet down, draw the muscles of the legs towards the center, pivot the hips down, and from there you extend up. I'm out of the camera, but you see my back, which is the important thing. I'm not coming like this. I do not like to do this, and I have my reasons, which I'm not going to get in details today, because we have a time schedule. Okay? Now, probably what you've seen about um, sun salutation is this thing going up, right? Notice again what happens when I go back. This is a different work. It's a back bending here. My back is very fragile. I've had lots of different accidents. I love to ski, to go on the bike, to do climbing, to do lots of stuff. So of course, I get into some accidents, and I'm also very clumsy. So I've had lots of different accidents. I have a shoulder injury, I have a neck issue, I have lower back stuff, you name it. I started to do yoga because of all of this. So for me, a happy back is very important. So what I do actually is that I engage my muscles. So I'm lifting in here to show this part. This is the groins. Don't ask me. I believe they are Leicester in German, right? So the Leicester, I like to keep it soft. And the pubic bone goes a little bit higher. So if you see here, I am Latin American, so of course I have a huge lordosis. Keep the pubic bone up. And you see how this part goes down? And you see how the back gets nicely protected, and you feel your muscles in here getting work. That's what we're looking. The muscles to do the work, not the bones. So press the feet down, engage the legs, lengthen the torso up, shoulders into the back, inhale, keeping all of that, arms up. It's different, no? Than just going in there. Keep the belly muscles active and keep the arms extending out. And then just exhale and bring the hands into the chest without collapsing. That's very important. So draw the belly in, press the feet down, lift the chest, inhale, arms up, extend up, and exhale, hands down. And again, inhale, arms up. I know that this is hard, I know that this is complicated, but life is like that sometimes, and we just have to learn to deal with it. So take one breath at a time. Inhale nice and long, opening to grace, opening to life. Exhale, hands into the chest. And release your hands. Now we put those things together. And then you'll have your very basic sun salutation. Look at the hair. Well, whatever. So I'm going to go down. Remember the opening of the chest. Remembering how can we see my completely? It's a little bit tough today. Maybe even more. So yeah. Okay. So for the next video, I already know how to place them up. So feet well placed down. Engage that pubic, engage the belly. If this is not clear, don't worry, it took me years and I still have to go back to this. The other day I was at my physiotherapist and he told me, what happened to you? The other day feel like a year ago. It was probably before the corona. So, pubic bone up, engage belly, lengthen, open up the chest. And then inhale, arms all the way up, bend those knees, because we're going down all the way towards the floor. Now I have a bed in here. So all the way down. You see, if you have a bed, use it. Roll or ply the hands on your shin bones. Inhale, extend the torso forward. This is a very yummy thing. Maybe keep the knees bending. And then just bow down. Bring the hands down. Oh, my blanket. Bring the right foot all the way back and place the knee down. Just that. Very simple. Place the hands down, bring the other leg down, back, bring the leg back, shoulders into the back, and come into dog. Just remember what we did before. Keep the arms away from the ears, bend the knees to lengthen the torso, and then just bring the knees down again, right foot between the hands, as you can. Just make it happen that is between your hands. And then opposite foot forward, however you can, take your time. Lengthen the torso, hands into the hips, inhale all the way up. And there you have sun salutation. Should we try again? Let's try again. Inhale, arms on the way up. Reach up, draw that belly, bend the knees, and exhale all the way down. Inhale, open up the chest, exhale, let's bring the left foot this time back. Bring it down into the floor. Place the hands, bring the opposite foot back, curl those toes, keep the head of the arms, the shoulders away from the ears, and go into this dog. Just stay here, breathing nice and deep, checking your shoulders, checking where the popo is, sitting bones are, and then knees down, this leg forward, in between your hands, draw the legs in, press the front foot down, lengthen the torso, second foot in front, keep those knees bending to bring the hips back, inhale and up. And that's it. You did both, you see? You see how I get confused with words? You did both sides of the very basic sun salutation. If you do this one quite often, you'll start to get into the movement and into getting more open. So let's try once more, and then I'll let you. Draw the legs in, hug belly, inhale, arms all the way up, and exhale, bend those knees and dig down, Uttanasana. Inhale, open the center of the chest forward, exhale, right foot back, knee down. Place the hands and come back into all fours. Knees slightly back, press those hands down. Elbows engage, shoulders away from the ears. Press the popo back and lift up. You can keep those knees bending or extend. However, whatever, it's okay. Bring those knees down again. Right foot in front of that, in between your hands. Draw popo in, engage in those legs. Remember this idea of scissoring. And then the back leg goes in front. Stay here. Popo goes higher. Maybe you can bring the hands into the shin bones to lengthen. And if this is your Uttanasana, perfect. If this is your Uttanasana, perfect. I don't care about that. It's your own body, so feel it. Connect with it. And then lengthen the torso, popo back, inhale all the way up. We need to do a second side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend those knees if you need to. Inhale, extend the torso and left leg back. Knee down. Hands down. And bring the front knee back, foot back, and get into a dog. Here, think about your foundation. Press the hands down, connect it with the earth, connecting with life, opening to receive whatever it is that life is teaching us right now. We need to stay open, open to grace. One more breath. Knees down. This leg in front, between your hands. Second foot forward. Lengthen the torso and bring the sitting bones up to get into a nice Uttanasana. Keep those knees bending if you need to. And then inhale, look forward again. Bring the popo into action to pivot those hips back. Press the feet down to come up. Stay here. Time to come to the front of the mat. Stay here and just welcome your breath in here. Just feel the breath breathing. Something that I love about yoga is that you get to work and then you get to relax. So now we're going to relax. How? Bring your knees into the floor. Separate your knees mat distant apart again to create some space. Feet down and bring the hips towards the heels. This might look super easy. It's not, especially if you have knee issues. So if you have knee issues, you get again your mat, blanket. You get again your blanket and you make yourself a little pillow in here. So you place it in there in order for your hips to have an easy contact with the heels. So the knees stay a little bit open. If this is still creating troubles on your knees, if your knees are still complaining, you bring actually this blanket more inside, in the crease of the knee and thigh. And in there you go back, keeping that in there. Is that better? If not, send me an email, a message, email, whatever, comment, and I'll get back to you. Promise. I have lots of time now. So, Keep the tops of the thighs back, soften, remember these groins, and from there just come forward. Hands on the floor, shoulders into the back, and release the top of the head. This is what we call balasana in Sanskrit. In English is the child's pose. I'm going to remove the blanket just because my knees are fine now. I do not need it. But there was a time when I really was thankful for having that support for my knee. Because of course I also have knee issues. Extend the torso and release the face. And in here you can also bring the elbows down too. You know, relax the shoulder and the upper part of the back. And just enjoy your breath. Sometimes this pose is not a happy pose. Sometimes this is very annoying. So if that's the case, come back into all fours and actually lie down on your back. And just stay like this in here. Also very soothing, very relaxing. And it's basically the same pose. You bring the toes together, knees apart, and just let gravity to do the work without any pressure on the knees. Okay? Wherever you are, again, perfectly fine. So, if you're in child's pose, which I'm going to go back to, bring the hands up, bring the knees together, hips towards the side, bring the feet in front. Lie down on the floor. And in here, just extend the legs and release. Take a couple of breaths in here. This is the best part of yoga you can get to relax. So really here, allow the breath to relax you. And even if it's just a few seconds of connecting back to your breath, believe me, it's really helpful. You can stay here if you want. You can close your eyes and just concentrate on your breath to inhale deeply. And with the exhale, allow yourself to relax. Say inhale and relax. Inhale and relax. And whenever you're ready, just wiggle your fingers and toes. Bend your knees, placing the feet back into the mat. Roll towards your side. And with the top hand, you'll press yourself back up to sitting. Very important to keep the back nice and long. So the work that you've done with yoga doesn't get washed out immediately. Place your blanket, sit on your blanket, lengthen the torso, place your hands into your thighs, close your eyes, and just take a couple of deep breaths in here. And notice if there are any sensations that were not there before. Notice how you're feeling. Hopefully you're feeling better. When we move, we create endorphins, some hormones that are, people call them the hormones of happiness. So you might feel better now. You might feel more calm now. Maybe not. Maybe you feel agitated. If that's the case, stay here, focusing on your breath, letting the thoughts go away. Just you and your breath. Inhale, making your mind follow the breath, thinking in, and making your mind thinking out while you exhale. In and out. Allowing that mind to focus on your breath and to make all the thoughts go away. In and out. And then gently bring your hands in front of the heart center. Take a deep breath in through the nose and let it go through the mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale through the mouth. One last one, inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Thank you for joining me. I hope this is helpful. Namaste. Namaste means the light in me salutes the light in you. See you, hopefully, soon. A big hug. Bye.